Cody and the beard, totally sold. It is a matchup rivaling that of your SportsCenter host for the next hour, Elle Duncan and Matt Berry. I'd be the beard because you can't grow one.
Yep. The C team here for the next hour is the NBA's A players. Get ready to go one-on-one in the first round of the NBA playoffs. For more, I want to bring in our Thunder reporter, Royce Young. And Royce, as you talked to Russell Westbrook this week, facing off with James Harden, what did he have to say about his former teammate and the biggest challenger for the MVP award?
Clearly, Russell Westbrook is very excited about this matchup, Matt. And, you know, he's the type of competitor that looks forward to any time he can kind of put his game against another top-level competitor in the NBA. And, you know, Westbrook and Harden, obviously, like you mentioned, former teammates, but their history even goes back beyond that. They grew up together. They knew each other as kids. And Westbrook himself said this week when we talked to him that this is something that he doesn't really necessarily appreciate right now, but over time, he's going to look back on this type of series against a close friend and the meaning that it has, the MVP candidacy that both guys had, the fact that they were former teammates. He'll look back on this later on and I think really appreciate it. And that's something that he kind of said this week.
Imagine if those guys were still teammates on the Thunder. You've got Westbrook, Harden, Durant. What an incredible trio that would be. What are the Thunder saying about facing a Rockets team that they played 4 times this season, including 3 contests that were decided by 3 points or less?
Well, they want to throw out that last game. The last game they went down to Houston, they got blown out. And the Thunder want to just try to take that one and kind of put it in the back of their mind and forget all about it and focus on the 3 games that you're referencing, Matt, where they were extremely competitive. Both, you know, all 3 down to the wire games. The Thunder clinched one on a Westbrook dunk. Westbrook had a shot to win the last 2 games, and he pulled up for 3 and missed both of those threes. But the Thunder feel really good about the matchup. You know, a large focus has obviously been on the Westbrook-Harden storyline, but for the Thunder, they're really circling another guy, an unsung guy, Andre Robertson, who has done an immense job of guarding James Harden. Some of Harden's worst games this season have come against the Thunder, and that's largely because of the individual defense of a guy like Robertson. So we're all going to focus on Westbrook and Harden and the numbers they put up, but the Thunder are looking directly at Andre Robertson and seeing him as a critical X factor in this series.
Yeah, he's going to need other players to step up on his team if Westbrook is going to have a good series, and the Thunder are going to continue this thing. Royce Young with us this morning. Royce, thanks. Coming up on SportsCenter, Draymond Green was on the wrong side of playoff talk last season. This year, redemption with a ring in mind. The Draymond Green conversation coming up in just a bit on SportsCenter.
All right, we already got one perspective from that Rockets and Thunder matchup. Let's actually talk to Calvin Watkins, who is our Rockets ESPN reporter. And it would be a joke, Calvin, to ask you, what are they most concerned about in terms of the Thunder? It's Russell Westbrook, but what are they saying about how they're going to approach defending him?
Well, it's going to be a wall. That's what Ryan Anderson said. You know, they got to put a wall up to protect the rim, but the main guy is going to be guarding Russell Westbrook is Patrick Beverley. This guy is all over Russell Westbrook. Westbrook hates going up against Patrick Beverley because from the moment that Westbrook gets the ball, Beverley is in his jersey. Now, if he does get past Patrick Beverley, which will happen from time to time, the Rockets feel like they have to put some bodies around the rim to protect it. So there's going to be times when Eric Gordon's going to probably pick up Westbrook. Trevor Ariza, probably the best wing defender, is going to get Westbrook. And, of course, James Harden's also going to guard him as well. But the Rockets feel like it's a collective effort, but the main guy is going to be Patrick Beverley to try to slow Russell Westbrook down.
Stingy defender over there. You mentioned James Harden. How are the Rockets trying to keep him in peak condition after he played more minutes this season than any other player did?
You know, one of the interesting things about that is, you know, Harden, he likes to play basketball. And the Rockets have a fantastic strength and conditioning staff. They have a chef. They have heart monitors. They monitor everything for all their players. So they feel like James Harden is in peak condition right now. And the other day I asked Harden, I said, look, you have gotten tired in the previous 2 postseasons. What makes you think it won't happen again? And Harden said, you know what, I have better personnel around me, so I don't have to do as much. Even though he is playing a lot of minutes, he is not exerting as much energy as he did in previous postseasons. So the Rockets are not too concerned about the fatigue factor for James Harden.
D'Antoni certainly built a team around Harden that they were hoping would be able to contend in the playoffs. We'll see what happens. They are the late game tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Calvin Watkins right here on SportsCenter. I had to. I'm sorry.